In May of 1979, a great college basketball rivalry was born when Ralph Sampson made this announcement.
I think I'm going with Virginia next semester.
Since that time, Virginia and Carolina have played a 9-game series, with Carolina holding a 5-4 edge. In 80, they split. In 81, Virginia won the series. In 82, it was North Carolina, and the Tar Heels won the first meeting this year. Ralph Sampson's last 2 appearances here at Carmichael have been outstanding. In his last 2 appearances here, Sampson has scored 62 points and grabbed 32 rebounds. In 1981, here in Chapel Hill, in a game remembered for its intensity, Virginia wiped out a 14-point deficit to win in overtime, and tempers flared at the gun. Last year in Carmichael, the reverse was true. This time, Virginia had Carolina down by 9 at the half and looked like they may be on their way to a victory. But this time, the Tar Heels came from behind, and the Carolina comeback took them to a 5-point win. Now tonight, they hook up again in Chapel Hill with the #1 spot in the nation and the ACC at stake. You'll see 3 All-Americans at work. Ralph Sampson of Virginia, the scintillating sophomore, Michael Jordan of North Carolina, and his teammate, Sam Perkins. Stay with us now for ACC basketball. It's Virginia and North Carolina. Everybody, and welcome to Carmichael Auditorium at tonight's game between Virginia and North Carolina. Hi, everybody. I'm Fred White, and our analyst tonight, Billy Packer. And Billy, much being made out of this ball game. Some people are calling it the game of the year. It may not be that. That one will probably be in Albuquerque on April the 4th. But this game does have a lot of merit. It has a lot of importance, and I'd like to know about it from your point of view, what it means tonight.
Well, Fred, I don't know how many people have talked to you this week saying, who do you think's going to win? But I've had thousands, it seems like. For me, I think there are an awful lot of important things involved in this ball game. Certainly the #1 ranking in the United States from a pride factor is nice to have in your camp. Also, the fact that North Carolina has beaten Virginia up at Virginia means that Virginia almost has to have this game to prove that they can beat a team like the Tar Heels. I also think for North Carolina, the potential #1 ranking in the East for the NCAA playoffs could be a factor because they would have an opportunity to play in Greensboro. And then you've got that fact the Sampson era is coming to a close at Virginia. Everybody likes to try to beat Ralph Sampson, there's no question about that. And I'll be anxious tonight to see how the University of North Carolina tries to defend the nation's #1 player.
Now let's meet the starting lineups. First of all, for the Cavaliers of Virginia. Now, one guard, Othell Wilson, 6 feet tall. He's a junior. The other guard will be Rick Carlisle, a 6'5 junior from Ogdensburg, New York, averaging a dozen points a game. In the middle, it's him, Ralph Sampson, the 7'4 senior. Up front, at one forward, Craig Robinson, a 6'8 senior. The other forward for Virginia will be Tim Mullen, 6'5, a sophomore. That's how Virginia is going to open up. Now the starting lineup for North Carolina. The Tar Heels go like this. Jim Braddock at the point. 6'2", a senior from Chattanooga, Tennessee. The other guard, Michael Jordan, a 6'6 sophomore from Wilmington, North Carolina. In the middle, a freshman, a big one. He is 6'11", Brad Daugherty out of Black Mountain, North Carolina. The forwards for the Tar Heels, Sam Perkins, 6'9", a junior from Latham, New York. The other forward is Matt Daugherty, a 6'8 junior from East Meadow, New York. There are your starting lineups. We are set to play basketball in Carmichael and Chapel Hill. The ball is up. Virginia has the tip. Carlisle for the layup. Doesn't drop. Robinson battling, can't come up with the rebound. But Carlisle gets it back.
Interesting, Carlisle was able to take that ball to the basket. Jimmy Braddock, knowing that he had the ball, should have stayed with him. And fortunately for North Carolina, Carlisle missed the layup.
Carlisle, Othell Wilson. They go down to Sampson off the baseline. The jumper good.
Ralph Sampson having Perkins playing right behind him. You've got to break back in with the guards to stop Sampson, or that turnaround jumper is deadly.
Ralph Sampson has been on a shooting tear. There's Brad Daugherty with the turnaround jumper, and Sampson kicks the rebound out in a hurry to Othell Wilson. Wilson tried to get by Braddock. The baseline jumper in and out. Daugherty had the rebound. Mullen gets it back. Robinson underneath, the reverse layup good, and Virginia leads 4-0.
North Carolina really not setting their defense early. Fred, that's very surprising. Normally they're back in there and they don't give up on easy shots.
Braddock, Looks at Perkins in the lane. Doesn't go. Now Braddock.
Great man-to-man. Foul call.
Rick Carlisle.
One of the toughest assignments that you can have defensively is a Michael Jordan, because he can play both inside and outside with equal ability. There's Terry Holland not wanting to get anybody in foul trouble, but Jordan really makes it difficult to match up. He takes an inside position, which Carlisle already had. The official now is probably going to make Michael move his feet so they're not crossed. Good move by the official.
The officials for tonight: Hank Nichols, Paul Houseman, John Clougherty.
There's a 2-3 zone by Virginia. North Carolina very patient.
Braddock is going to lob to Perkins.
And it caught Ralph Sampson by surprise. That lob went right over his head.
4-2 Virginia. 18:30 left in the first half. And the crowd on its feet.
That was a set play right against the zone.
Wilson to Rick Carlisle. Phil Wilson. Kind of a funny shot. It was rebounded by Brad Daugherty. He wasn't sure when he went in the air, I don't think.
Well, Braddock kind of let him go inside and did a good job making them all to the shot.
Matt Daugherty.
Back to man-to-man. Perkins has Sampson behind him.
Braddock for three, and he nails it. Jim Braddock gets three, and Carolina goes in front 5-4. Sampson with the lob out of bounds, belongs to Virginia.
You can see Virginia going early with that lob. That time that Daugherty came over and was double teaming with Perkins on Sampson.
Phil Wilson looking. It comes to Carlisle. No, Mullen, excuse me. Well, they tried to get it back to Phil Wilson, knocked loose by Perkins.
Double team in the corner. The pass wasn't there.
Jim Braddock's going to push it up in a hurry. Matt Daugherty back outside Braddock. Perkins. Brad Daugherty over Robinson. Not there in the rebound.
Good rebound by Mullen.
Carlisle to Wilson. Cavaliers down by one. 17:25 left in the first half. Sampson dribble the ball. Fakes. Leads in. They're going to call him going to walk. He can cover a lot of ground.
I don't know if it was a walk or not. Let's watch this. Where is his pivot foot?
Right one.
That was not a walk.
No.
That is not a walk. I know he covered a lot of ground, but it was just a sensational move.
Billy, that's happened to him before. He covers so much ground that the officials are just sure that he had to travel to get there. This is Matt Daugherty. Carolina with a 1-point lead. 17 minutes left in the first half. Perkins for three.
Sam Perkins been shooting real well from that outside. Here's Wilson with his leaping ability.
Robinson's been on the boards pretty well early. Wilson fakes. Oh, Ralph Sampson slammed the rebound back down. He has 4, 6-5 Virginia.
To no fault of Sam Perkins, because he tried to help out.
That's a blocking foul on Tim Mullen.
Mullen waiting on the break. Thought he had played well defensively, gets called for it. Watch this right here. See, Perkins comes over to help out on Wilson. Therefore, nobody's over there on Sampson for the block out. Probably Daugherty should have tried to put a body on him, but Ralph is up so high.
Dean Smith conferring with his assistant coaches. That's Bill Guthrie joining. The screens left.
I think everybody's familiar by now. Coach Smith set a new record. There's Ralph Sampson going out for a little breather. Set a new record with his 13th straight 20-game winning season.
Kent Needland in the lineup for Virginia as Perkins throws up a turnaround jumper. Michael Jordan rebounds it. It won't drop. And Kent Needland grabs a quick rebound for Virginia.
Needland does a great job coming in defensively and off the board.
Carlisle shot rebounded by Craig Robinson. Knocked out of bounds by Matt Daugherty at the baseline.
Good quick hands by Daugherty reaching in. Barry wanting a foul, but that was right on the ball.
Barry Holland in his 9th year at Virginia. His Cavaliers with a 1-point lead were early on. Chapel Hill, 16:20 left.
Here's the defense being used by North Carolina. Little zone, 1-3-1. Daugherty playing in the middle. Perkins running the baseline.
They lob inside to Edlin. Nice fake, and the jumper's up too strong. Rebounded by Michael Jordan for North Carolina. Jim Braddock. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, like Sampson, with a move that Sampson got called walking. Michael gets called for walking sometimes with that quick step of his, but he's just as maybe too talented.
He had his motor running up, and oh, what a shot by Sam Perkins, and he has 4.
Some half hook.
7-6 Carolina, 15:40 left in the first half.
Nice overplay by Daugherty.
Mullen in a bit of trouble. trouble. Now Elam, Wilson, Carlisle down the baseline, and he is going to be called for charging. Second foul on Rick Carlisle, the third on Virginia. North Carolina doesn't have one yet.
Fred, that was great weak side defense. Coming over to help out. And that was Jordan coming from behind with a block. Shows what good weak side defense can do.
Terry Holland doesn't like the call. These people do. They're Carolina fans. Timeout here with 15:32 left in our first half. North Carolina 7, Virginia 6. We're back right after this.
Paul Cameron along with Fred Bearcat, supervisor officials in the league. Fred, a close call already. Is anything special you've told your crew?
No, just to relax. Don't get over officious. Let the kids play. Let them establish their own rhythm and tempo.
Thanks, Fred. Let's go back upstairs.
Billy, pretty good point right there, and we didn't talk about this in the pregame, but in a game like this, there's always some pressure on the officials, too.
Well, there is, and there also is a great deal of pride in their case, knowing you've got teams of this level nationally playing. It's nice to get that type of assignment, and you want to do a good job with it. We've got a fella out there. Here's Ralph Sampson back in the game, took just a little breather. But you've got a guy by the name of Hank Nichols out there that's refereed the national championship a couple of times, so he's used to the big game.
Warren Martin in the game now for North Carolina. Down low, this is Perkins. Sampson looked like a building right behind him. Jordan, back in they go to Perkins. Right back out, Michael Jordan.
Michael hasn't gotten untracked yet. Nice play by Othell Wilson.
Sampson comes up the deflection to Ricky Stokes. Stokes tried to get rid of it in the lane. They're all out of control right now, and Perkins comes up with the ball, but it's going to be out of bounds to Virginia.
There's one thing on this court that I ought to point out that's very difficult for the players and the officials. Here we see that pass, maybe one pass too many, and that is, see how the blue is on there? The official always recognizes that that's out of bounds, but it's not out of bounds. That line should be painted all the way down to the end line. I think it really is confusing.
Should be a solid color. It's 8-7 Virginia. Warren Martin. No. Oh, well, a tip by Jordan. He didn't drop it, but what an effort.
You don't see another team get 3 shots at the basket with Ralph Sampson under there very often.
Braddock is fouled by Kenton Needler.
Kenton going up, getting caught off the ground. A good job by Jimmy Braddock to make that pump fake.
Really interesting move by Terry Holland. He sat Ralph Sampson down after about 2 minutes, then brought him back.
Here you see the pump fake. Kent Needland at 6'7" or so, and a great leaper, has no business going off the floor on that particular move, even though Braddock made an excellent pump.
Jim Braddock on the line. He has 3 points on a 3-point field goal. 84% free throw shooter. 6'2" senior from Chattanooga, Tennessee's Baylor Prep High School. Gets it. He has 4.
I want to point out something about Elam. He's got 59 fouls on the year. Ralph Sampson has 60. And you have to remember he's played about half as much time, but Terry Holland uses him to keep Sampson out of foul trouble.
We're tied at 8. 14:27 left in the first half. Sampson having trouble with it, taken away. Braddock racing Stokes, and a foul. Foul on Ricky Stokes.
Virginia a little sloppy in the backcourt with their ball handling, got him in trouble.
And Braddock slipping.
See Braddock going to the basket very well. Ricky Stokes either ought to try to get the charge right there or stay away from the man. He almost gave up the 3-point opportunity.
Carlisle back in the game. Jim Braddock came out of that limping and still is limping. He's going to walk away from the free throw circle, try to shake it off.
Well, he took a pretty good shot on that last occasion when he came down with that jump shot, and Elam went over him.
That's the 5th foul on Virginia. North Carolina has yet to commit one. That could be a factor in the first half.
Well, you don't like to see yourself getting in a 1-on-1 situation so early, and Virginia boarding on it right now.
Well, one stat that jumps out and hits you, Virginia's out-rebounded North Carolina 8-3 in the early going. On the scoreboard, it's 10-8 North Carolina. Here comes Steve Hale in the ball game for North Carolina. They're looking at Jimmy Braddock out. I don't think he's hurt seriously at all, but he was trying to shake off some kind of a leg injury.
North Carolina picks up well, not guard the man taking the ball out of bounds. There's Stokes. Keeps that ball so low to the floor.
Mullen tries to lob it and does. Gets Sampson in the lane. Quick move and a foul call.
Michael Jordan coming from the weak side. He knows it.
First on Michael Jordan and the first on North Carolina. To repeat.
Here you see Sampson making his move. When he spins, Michael Jordan comes from the weak side and grabs Ralph across the arm.
Ralph Sampson gets 2 shots.
Did he get 2 shots there? Was I don't know. He wasn't quite yet ready to shoot that ball. Good break for Virginia.
Sampson got it off the heel and then it fell. Ralph Sampson has 5 points. 70% free throw shooter. In and out.
coming back to help.
North Carolina down by 1. Hale working against Stokes at midcourt.
Carlisle is actually playing back in the forward spot now.
Jim Miller set to enter the Virginia lineup. Michael Jordan on the wing for North Carolina.
Michael Jordan's a lot quicker than Mullen. Let's see if he doesn't try to take him with a drive. Here he is.
He's going to put it up for 3, and he's short with a try. Warren Martin, big offensive rebound, saves it. Back out it comes.
Amazing what Martin has done in the last month or so in terms of giving North Carolina about 5 or 6 key minutes every game.
Sam Perkins. 16 seconds on the shot clock, and a foul down away from the ball.
Offensive screening foul on Martin. Boy, he sets a big screen, too.
There's Dean Smith. Martin at 6'11", a sophomore from Axton, Virginia, takes up a lot of space in the lane.
Fred, it seems like both these teams are just kind of sparring with each other right now. Really haven't gotten into the flow of the game yet. A lot of substitutions taking place. Terry Holland realizing that Dean Smith is always going to go to his bench early, get ready for the second half, so Holland doing a lot of the same.
13-15 left in the first half, 10-9. North Carolina leading Virginia.
They're playing Sampson straight man-to-man. I think we'll see the ball going into him more. Here comes Jordan for that weak side again. Hale staying over there to help out.
Miller in and out. Rebound. Warren Martin.
That was an unusual looking shot for Jim Miller. He does like to use the board.
Michael Jordan really has not been that involved in the game yet.
Now you have to switch back. You have Carlisle on Jordan. Now that Mullen is out of the game.
Down low it comes. Perkins. Back outside. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Daugherty gets it inside. We're going to have to look for the shot. 5 seconds left.
I don't think they realize it yet. That could be 3.
Daugherty missed. Short with a try. Evelyn trying to run the rebound down, and it's on the stripe out of bounds. It'll belong to North Carolina.
Both teams are very tight out here so far.
12:28 left in the first half.
That's Peterson in the ball game. Look for a little outside shooting there. Martin gave him 3 rebounds the time that he was in there. He's going to go sit down, and he gets in 4 or 5 minutes. Gives Daugherty a chance to breathe. Makes the fouls. You got 10 fouls you can use out of those 2 fellas.
Actually, I think Warren Martin's the epitome of a guy who plays within himself. Stays within his abilities. 12 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first half.
Jordan on a back door.
Something's going to happen in about a second to electrify this crowd and ignite this ball game. I've got a feeling this might do it. Michael Jordan with the ball. Perkins
and Sampson. Well, Perkins has the ability to go outside. Sampson can guard a man from out there.
Now we have a foul on Ricky Stokes. It can happen with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Not a good play from a Virginia standpoint because North Carolina at the moment not in shape to shoot it.
That's a good point, Fred. For the simple reason you have Sampson playing Perkins from behind, so all you try to do with the man is to make sure he doesn't get off an easy shot. You don't want to have to go to the steal because Sampson will handle it.
Now a new 30 on the shot clock. Virginia committed their 6th foul. The next one puts North Carolina in the 1-on-1. We have 11:56 left in this half.
Virginia in the zone right now. Michael Jordan's been kind of content to just get the ball and pass it. Let's see when he starts opening up offensively.
That's a walking call on Steve Hale. North Carolina turns it over. Dean Smith did not like that at all. The call, I mean. We have a timeout taken here at Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill with 11:49 left in our first half. It is Carolina 10, Virginia 9, and we're back right after this. Red White along with Billy Packer and Carmichael. North Carolina leading Virginia 10-9. North Carolina has hit just 3 out of 12 shots from the floor. Virginia just 4 for 11.
That's one of the reasons the game isn't in sync yet, because you have some very poor percentage shooting. Neither team can get on track offensively. They're both playing very timid type ball game.
Virginia with the basketball. Miller.
Remember on these timeouts, a lot of times Virginia likes to go to Sampson with some kind of a lob.
Ricky Stokes. That's Kenton Nealon with it now to Miller. Rick Carlisle. Too strong. Here comes Buzz Peterson. Carolina still with a 1-point lead. 11:20 left in the first half.
Notice how Sam Perkins is keeping Ralph Sampson outside. He sets up outside the 3-point line, wanting to make sure Sampson can't camp inside.
That foul was called against Brad Daugherty. There's Dean Smith reacting to it. The 3rd team foul on North Carolina. Virginia's been whistled for 6.
You can see that motion by Dean Smith. Wants that defense to push out a little bit higher.
We've played nearly one half of the first half. Michael Jordan has taken 3 shots, hasn't hit one yet. Only 2 people have scored for North Carolina, Jim Braddock and Sam Perkins. Only 3 have scored for Virginia. Craig Robinson, Ralph Sampson, and Kent Needle.
Good cut across the lane. Nice steal by Jordan.
Jordan knocked it out of Sampson's hands, and Ralph picks it up and shoots it back in, and he has 7 points.
Pretty quick.
Well, he can do some things. Ooh,
here we go. Sampson on the break.
Look at Sampson handle it.
Beautiful pass.
To Carlisle to Robinson. Shot doesn't drop. Robinson again in traffic. It's up and good. Craig Robinson has 4.
For Sampson to throw that ball over the defense, you know, I thought he was going to go to the short man, lobbed it right over the defense. A fine pass on the break.
I think he surprised Carlisle just a little bit. He got it there. Hale inside. Brad Daugherty over Robinson. Blocked by Sampson. We're going to call it goaltending. Get Brad Daugherty 2.
Daugherty putting the ball up very well tonight. That's only his first field goal, right? But he is putting the ball up well. Watch, he gets it. No hesitation. Sampson under the basket. Catches it on the way down.
13-12. Virginia with a 1-point lead in the basketball. 10-15 left in the first half. Robinson.
Virginia in their 1-4 offense right now.
He goes toward Brad Daugherty, and Daugherty gets a hand on it. It's taken away by Hale. Here comes Carolina with a chance to grab the lead again. Matt Daugherty near the corner to Hale. Does Peterson. Sam Perkins, good fake, got Sampson in the air. The shot doesn't drop.
And the smallest guy on the floor, Ricky Stokes, snags it.
Now Stokes pushing it up. Carlisle for 2, short. And Carlisle takes the rebound back up, around and around and around and off. Tipped up and good.
Jimmy Miller on the tap-in. Carlisle is a guy that when he shoots his jumper, Fred, you have got to block him out. He's a very good offensive rebounder. Not as good maybe as Jordan because he doesn't have his natural ability, but he loves to go after that offensive rebound.
9:26 left in the first half. 15-12. Virginia over North Carolina by 3. Daugherty. Steve Hale. Foul in the lane on Daugherty.
There's Stokes again using his smarts, drawing the charge.
First foul on Matt Daugherty, and Virginia gets it back, leading by 3.
You don't see those things in the stat sheets, but a guy like Ricky Stokes does so many things in the course of a ball game that stops the other team's momentum. There he draws the charge by stepping in. Now watch him right here. He steps in, he sees the play coming, steps right in, leans, then goes through the Hollywood act, falls down, gets the foul.
North Carolina now has been whistled for 4 fouls. 3 of them are offensive fouls. 15-12, Virginia.
Jimmy Miller, good solid screen by Sampson.
4 points Miller in the 5-point lead to Virginia, the biggest lead of the game so far. 8:55 left in the first half. Brad Daugherty, Braddock, Peterson.
Perkins has Sampson right behind him in good working position there. I think he's going to try to score.
Braddock, the 3-point range. Nope. Rebound to Sampson, and baseball pass intercepted by Jimmy Braddock.
He telegraphed that pass. Good job by Braddock getting back.
Matt Daugherty. Perkins hooks over Sampson.
That's what I thought was going to happen, Fred, because Ralph Sampson's given Perkins all the room in the world to catch that ball, and Sam's too talented to have it down that low and not score.
17-14, Virginia by 3. 8:15 left in the first half. They lob to Edelin. Nice fake and a reverse layup. Good. And Edelin has 4.
He's getting a lot of playing time in this game.
19-14, Virginia. 8:04 left in the first half. Matt Daugherty attacking Miller. Got too deep. Now Hale will let it fly, and it's good. Buzz Peterson, excuse me, not Hale. Buzz Peterson gets 2, and it's 19-17.
Oh, nobody at all on Miller. There's a case for trying to double team Sampson. Leaves Miller wide open. Look at Edelin hustle.
And that's going to be a jump ball.
That was just great hustle on Edelin's part.
The possession belongs to North Carolina, but he was really after the basketball.
Well, they might not get possession of the ball, but of course he gets that arrow back for his club on the next one. Just a great effort.
That shot by Peterson a moment ago was a 3-point shot. We have a timeout here. James Worthy looking on.
Yeah, James Worthy, kind of interesting.
7:40 left in the first half. There's your score, and we'll be right back. Really not all the great players are on the floor.
Yeah, there's James back here to watch his old team play, and we say old team, that's Mr. and Mrs. Worthy right beside him. His dad has always impressed me as a pretty good-looking power forward himself. James led them to the national championship championship and moved on, and I think most people are aware of the fact that he would still be eligible had he not decided to go to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, where he's doing very well, along with another former North Carolina player, Robert McAdoo.
A lot of ability in this arena. Jimmy Black was in there earlier. There are the shooting percentages so far. North Carolina not shooting it well. Virginia not shooting it real well. And we have 7:33 left in the first half. Virginia with a 2-point lead.
And back in the zone with Sampson out of the ball game temporarily here. Edlin playing in the center of the 1-3-1.
Warren Martin.
I think for North Carolina, they've got to get Michael Jordan to start putting the ball up a little bit.
He hasn't been looking.
No, he was very quiet.
Matt Daugherty.
Three. And Daugherty surprising a lot of people with his three-point shooting this year.
He's now 8 for 24 on the year from three-point range, and it's now 20-19. North Carolina by what?
That's exactly 33%, which is the same as shooting 50.
North Carolina has 3 three-point field goals in the first half to date. Virginia doesn't have one yet.
That's not surprising, though, Fred, because these two teams are a lot different in their three-point shooting. Virginia only has had about 60 on the year so far.
They really pretty much ignored it. Good work by Craig Robinson inside. He has 6. 21-20 Virginia.
North Carolina taken 149 going into this ball game. Virginia had only taken 60, so you can see quite a difference in philosophy.
Michael Jordan. Braddock. Matt Daugherty had a notion, turned down a shot. Now he's in a bit of trouble, gets it to Braddock. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Daugherty, Braddock, Michael Jordan.
He was a step inside. That was not a three-pointer.
Jordan gets his first field goal of the game. His first 2 points come with 6:05 left in the first half.
North Carolina stays in the man-to-man. You notice Perkins is out of there too, so you've got Sampson and Perkins both taking a rest. Both of these coaches playing a little bit coy here in the first half. And they're sitting side by side over there at that center court. Kind of an interesting little picture.
That's a great shot. 22-21.
Robinson picking up the sweat. There they are.
Craig Robinson has 8. Is that a great shot?
I wonder what they're having to say to each other. Doesn't look like they're doing too much talk.
They turned their backs on one another.
A lot of mutual respect there, though.
A lot of talent sitting right there.
Now Dean Smith wanders down to talk to him.
Don't tell Ralph what we're going to do. 23-22. Virginia by a point. 5:16 left in the first half.
Not a lot of pressure on the ball out here, and yet North Carolina still not shooting well.
Pass deflected.
Look at that speed.
Othell Wilson. Braddock catches up from behind, and they say Wilson touched the left. North Carolina has the ball.
The official, you've got to get him credit in this respect. He was right on the play. Braddock really hustled. Watch this ability by Othell Wilson to pick this ball up on the dribble. Here comes Braddock. Now he hits it. Nope, should have been Virginia ball. Should have been Virginia ball.
5 minutes left in the first half. Virginia with a 1-point lead. Jordan in the lane kicks it back out.
Now Jordan's starting to penetrate a little more. If you're the opposing coach sitting on the bench, you can feel him getting ready to explode.
Braddock's 3-point try doesn't drop, but he catches the long deflection to Matt Daugherty. Jumper from the circle jerk. Matt Daugherty just drilled it. He has 5.
Matt having a good, solid ball game.
Carolina by 1.
And the fact that North Carolina was able to bring in a center to move Matt Daugherty back to his normal position of small forward just has really made him so much better a ball player.
Jimmy Miller for Virginia. Using some clock. Sampson kicks it back out.
Little triple team on Sampson's got to leave somebody open.
Miller near the baseline. Whistle blows as the shot was in the air. It may count.
There was a case where Warren Martin tried to help out as the ball was, Virginia was able to swing it across court. Nobody was on Miller. A chance for the three-pointer here.
15 foul. Tim Mullen checks in.
It's amazing to watch these two coaches use their substitutes. Want to keep everybody fresh and out of foul trouble in this first half.
Jim Miller now has 6 points, looking for number 7. 25-24, Virginia by 1. 4:14 left in the half. Concentration. Too strong.
Good tap back.
Craig Robinson kept it alive. Miller ran it down near the timeline, gives to Othell Wilson.
The crowd has been kind of quiet, too. The fact that they're keeping him out of it. There's a foul on Martin trying to go for the lob. That's what happens so much against Sampson. If you throw that ball up in the air, people try to take it away from him, and it's just impossible. Ralph just goes up. There he is. Even though Martin's a 7-footer, Ralph is about a hand taller, just on the leap.
Now Brad Daugherty is going to replace Martin, who just drew his third foul. Only one philosophy of playing someone like Ralph is figuring out how many fouls you have to spend on him.
Well, and Dean Smith uses those two centers knowing he can use all 10.
Mullen.
No block out.
Missed that one, and Perkins clears the rebound. Here comes Carolina with 3:53 left in the first half. The Tar Heels with a chance to regain the lead.
Daugherty from 3.
Matt Daugherty didn't get it, and Sampson clears the rebound. Here comes Virginia, still up by 1. Othell Wilson. Inside Mullen. In and out.
That's Othell Wilson underneath.
And Perkins has the ball, kicks it up court. Matt Daugherty moving on Sampson. He's going to take it. Didn't get it. Michael Jordan's there. Rejected by Sampson. Braddock picks it up.
That was whatever you want to call it on one, but that one happened to be Sampson.
Did he defend the territory?
Daugherty did a nice job driving in there, but I think he expected a little more pressure from Sampson and just banged it off the boards.
And Michael Jordan, it looked like he had an open shot, and Sampson uncoiled and knocked that one down. We have timeout here with 3:19 left in the first half. 25-24 Virginia. This is the Raycom Jefferson Productions Sports Network. We are back at Carmichael Auditorium. Went wide along with Billy Packer. 25-24, Virginia leading.
Now here was Daugherty looking one way. Nice fake by Matt Daugherty. I think, as I said, he expected a little bit more pressure. Then Jordan, who's the great offensive rebounder, goes in. But Sampson just gathered himself and knocked it away. Came tough off the board. Jordan goes up. Sampson says, I'll have none of that. Bats it away.
And Ralph drove it out of the park to right center field when he got it. See, watch how he's just laying back on coil left, waiting for it. There he is. Ralph Sampson has 7 points in the early going here. Craig Robinson 8. Jim Miller 6. Kent Needland has 4 for Virginia. Jim Braddock 6. Sam Perkins 6. Matt Daugherty 5. Michael Jordan.
Dangerous pass.
Virginia with a 1-point lead in the ball. 3:13 left in the first half.
Everybody trying to slough back in. You notice the first time or two down court, North Carolina was not sloughing back in on Sampson, but they really are now. They're really aware. Anytime he's in the area, the guy will drop back in and help out.
There's Ralph.
Daugherty on the block.
Sam Perkins picks it up. Here comes Carolina with a chance to go back in front.
That was a replay of the one up in Charlottesville that Michael Jordan picked off.
Sam Perkins, Hale, Brad Daugherty over Craig Robinson.
Daugherty's causing real problems for Virginia because he's getting the ball in low, and he's being guarded by Robinson or the second big man, and he's able to score.
26-25, North Carolina, 2:30 left in the first half. Mullen, down low to Sampson, all the way. Craig Robinson across the lane.
Not there. Virginia not getting a lot of movement from the fellows away from the ball.
2:22 left in the first half. And now Carolina with a 1-point lead in the ball. Hale sets the play. Perkins with it. Each team has turned it over 7 times. Michael Jordan down low to Daugherty.
Michael's just satisfied to pass that ball off tonight. There he goes.
There's the jumper kick. Michael Jordan hit the deck. Gets 2. He has 4 points. With the feeling he could score about whenever he wants to.
Yeah, he's got so many moves inside and out. And with that tremendous leaping ability, when he takes you inside, he just goes over fellas 6'5", 6'6".
North Carolina up by 3. That's their biggest lead in the first half. Virginia's led by as many as 5. 1:41 left in the first half. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Phil Wilson lobs inside Sampson. Turns, shoots, too strong. Tip try once, nothing went. And we've got a foul call.
I think it's going to be on Daugherty coming over the back of Robinson.
That'll be number 2 on Brad Daugherty.
That's a pretty good job by Perkins against Sampson that time. Sampson had the ball in working room, but he altered his shot just enough to throw it off.
Remember when Virginia had committed 5 fouls and North Carolina hadn't committed one? Well, guess who's in the 1-and-1 and who isn't?
It turned it around in a hurry. And that was, Fred, they had their 6th foul with 11:30 to go.
And they haven't committed another one.
Well, they played some zone. I think both the defense have been rather passive. You haven't seen an awful lot of hustle. Daugherty in the lane, even if he misses it, he'll get it over.
Craig Robinson now has 9 points. John Brownlee now will enter the game for North Carolina. They're going to get Brad Daugherty down. He has 2, and Warren Martin has 3, and they don't want Brad Daugherty to get the 3rd foul this half.
So Dean Smith goes 15 deep in fouls that he can use from that center position.
1:30 left in the first half. 28-26. North Carolina by 2, by 1. It's Craig Robinson. now has 10 points.
Here, Virginia picks up for the first time tonight in a full court 1-3-1 trap.
Sam Perkins over Sampson. Nope. And Sampson kicks it up. Here comes Virginia, 2-on-2. Othell Wilson.
Now let's see the play.
Jim Miller.
They're going to call this a charge on Othell Wilson. Take away the basket. The charge on Wilson. The rebound basket will not count. Now, what's interesting on this play is a couple of years ago, that would have been called also a technical foul for dunking the ball during a dead ball situation. But now, on a continuation, the official can use good judgment, which is a much better way to handle that rule. That's a good call all the way around. Othell Wilson on the charge.
A lot of bodies on the floor when that play finished. Matt Daugherty set to re-enter the game now for North Carolina.
Notice how people are so familiar with Othell Wilson's willingness to drive down the lane. Against the break now, people are not trying to stop him with the block. They all go to try to stop him with by drawing the charge.
There's your situation. 1:15 left in the first half. North Carolina with a 1-point lead over Virginia. They'll have Matt Daugherty on the free throw line, and now they have to go back to the scores table to straighten something
I
out.
think what they were doing, Peterson is the fella that drew the charge, and he's on the bench injured. So North Carolina can pick whoever they want to shoot the free throws, and they put Matt Daugherty on the line.
Daugherty, a 75% shooter. There's Dean Smith. Daugherty's percentages too strong. The ball tipped outside, and a big race is on. Brownlee had it. It's knocked loose by Mullen. Mullen captures it. Gets to Craig Robinson to Wilson against Perkins.
Great drive.
What a shot.
Great drive, great hustle all the way around.
First 2 points for Othell Wilson.
Looks like Peterson's really hurt. They're carrying him off right now down the other end of the court.
He's headed for the locker room. It's 29-28 Virginia. 49 seconds left in the first half. Hale to Brownlee. To Hale to Michael Jordan for the jump shot. Off balance. No good. Jimmy Miller. Othell Wilson. And here come the Cavaliers. 37 seconds left in the half. 29-28 Virginia.
Still an opportunity to go to Sampson. There it is.
Missed the hook. And a foul is called along the lane.
It's Robinson coming over the back.
First on Craig Robinson.
Ralph Sampson upset with himself a little bit. Let's see.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
It's against
here.
Carolina. Well, now look at Dean Smith upset.
I thought the foul was on Robinson. Let's see what we're going to have here. Who's shooting? Nobody knows who's shooting. Here's Robinson going to the line.
Craig Robinson just hit 2.
Looked like he acknowledged that he had committed the foul.
Looked like he was upset with himself. Craig Robinson, 3 for 3 on the line now with 11 points, the leading scorer in the first half of this game.
It's great to see a guy like Robinson work on a part of his game that was not too good a couple of years ago, and now he's become a very consistent and solid free throw shooter. He got down after 2 years ago. He was really down himself, and he's battled back to become a very important part of this club.
He's 4 for 4 on the line, and now has a dozen points with 27 seconds left in the half. 31-28.
Merrifield into the ball game now for the first time. So Terry Holland has used 9 players in this first half, and Dean Smith has used 9 also. Exum coming into the ball game, so Dean Smith goes, I guess, to his 10th player here in the first half.
3-point lead to Virginia with 27 seconds left in the half.
Exum never got in the ball game. North Carolina can hold for the last shot here.
Sam Perkins is going to kick it back outside to Jimmy Braddock. They could get it tied with a 3-pointer.
Right down to 14-13.
Seriously, they have the shot clock running, and it doesn't mean anything. 6 seconds left in the half. They're going to have to get the shot. 5 seconds left. Matt Daugherty fakes, takes it off balance. It's short.
You know, Fred, it really did mean something because the shot clock had more time to run than the regular clock, and therefore the kids were looking at the shot clock.
No, you're right. It did. What it meant was the deke.
That's right. That's right. It really threw them off course there.
Well, nothing decided at all here at halftime. 31-28.
Look at that field goal shooting percentage. You can never have a pretty game when teams are shooting under 40%, and that's what we have right here. Rebounding, Virginia's got an advantage right here, and as I said, both coaches used 9 players in that first half. Exum didn't get in, or Dean Smith would have used 10. And I think both coaches wanted to get to the second half with nobody in foul trouble and ready to make a blitz. I'll be very surprised if we don't see the tempo really pick up here in the second half.
Statistically, that's how they got through the first half of the basketball game, scoring. Craig Robinson leading them all with a dozen points. Ralph Sampson has 7, Miller has 6, Edlin 4, Wilson 2, and Sampson has 5 rebounds to go with his 7 points in the first half.
Good solid half by Craig Robinson in regard to being open, and he took advantage of it.
Great balance for North Carolina. Nobody's really stepped up and taken command of the game. Perkins and Braddock each have 6, Daugherty 5. That's Matt Daugherty, Brad Daugherty 4. Michael Jordan only has 4 points. Peterson 3, and Michael Jordan 2 for 7 from the floor in that half.
Michael was, that's about the least amount of aggressiveness I've seen from him in a basketball game since early in his freshman year. Normally he gets that ball, he puts so much pressure on the defense, but he seemed to be satisfied to throw that ball on the perimeter. There's Ralph Sampson getting a little powder on his hands, ready to go. I don't think we'll see that much substituting early here in this second half. I would be a bit surprised to see these fellas go for 10 minutes or so before anybody comes in, particularly for the University of North Carolina.
What Ralph Sampson has done in 9 meetings against North Carolina, 19-point average, 10 rebound average. And Billy, we talked about this a little bit between the two of us before the game. It's almost as if it's Ralph against North Carolina instead of Virginia against North Carolina, the way everybody seems to look at these things.
Well, I think Ralph Sampson is such an imposing figure. There we see everybody trying to double team and help out wherever he is, dropping back in on him. Now it's good shot by Othell Wilson, and he judged it right there. Braddock was dropping back inside to help out on Sampson, and Othell Wilson picked it up immediately, shot right over it.
That's a 3-point goal, and now Virginia with a 6-point lead, the biggest lead of the game. Braddock tries to get it down low and does. Brad Daugherty back to Braddock for 3. Nope, and Ralph Sampson is up there.
Almost the same situation on the other end of the court. That time was Othell Wilson trying to help out. Might have a technical foul, and he tells Dean Smith to sit down.
Dean Smith wanted the traveling call against Ralph Sampson. He came down off balance.
That's going to be a 2-shot technical right there. Anytime it's on that coaching staff, it's a 2-shot technical, and the ball will be out of bounds for Virginia.
Well, he did not lose possession of the ball.
No, he didn't. That's about the only good thing you can say about that play.
Virginia had the ball anyway when Dean Smith got the technical. And Carlisle misses the first one. Rick Carlisle has not scored yet.
And Carlisle, 86% free throw shooter, hits the second one.
So that cost Dean Smith 1 point. Now Carlisle, Virginia up by 7, the biggest lead of the game.
I think the fans will enjoy watching North Carolina play Sampson in the second half. They're double teaming, a man behind, a man in front, wherever he goes, always aware of where Sampson is on the floor.
Othell Wilson had a no-shoot, didn't go for 3. Tim Mullen inside Sampson, right back out. Mullen for 3, good.
Smart play by Sampson. He feels that double team pressure, so rather than holding the ball, he's firing it right back out.
Tim Mullen getting his first points of the game. Neither he nor Carlisle scored in the first half. There's Perkins with a high lob. Nope, and Ralph Sampson clears the rebound. 38-28.
Sam Perkins can't get it to fall.
Virginia by 10. Craig Robinson has it batted loose by Matt Daugherty. It still belongs to Virginia.
Matt Daugherty trying to fake out the officials a little bit, running the other way, and they called him back.
18:33 left in this game. Virginia's opened a 10-point lead.
Double team now by North Carolina. Zone pressure.
Robinson with a jump hook, good.
Over Sam Perkins, giving him some of his own medicine on a little half hook shot.
Craig Robinson has 14, and Virginia leads by 12.
And they're really silencing this crowd. There's Jordan. Hasn't gotten it going at all tonight.
Brad Daugherty didn't get it. Look at Craig Robinson battle and come away with the rebound to Carlisle, and Virginia attacking North Carolina.
Virginia playing good, solid defense out here, and North Carolina can't get on track.
17:57 left in this basketball game. Virginia with a 12-point lead in the ball. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Wilson lobs cross court, and Mullen with the jumper off the heel of the game. Jordan, he's got Matt Daugherty up there.
Oh, good block.
Mullen got the ball.
Boy, that was a fine block by Mullen. Daugherty had to wait on that lob. What you had is that Virginia had all of their guards down inside under the basket, and therefore it was easy for Daugherty to get the lead pass but he didn't have his legs here, and Mullen made an incredible play right here. Gets all ball. That was an easy 2.
Now, the same as in the first half. Ralph Sampson leaving the game after 2 minutes and 18 seconds of this half, Billy. Kent Needland's in for Virginia.
Virginia drops back in the zone.
That's on Rick Carlisle.
Pushing off inside. Unnecessary foul. Rick's a very intelligent ball player. And look at he waves to the bench right there saying, calm down, I'm all right.
They took him out after 2 minutes and 18 seconds of this half.
Might be trying to get his second win. That happens occasionally. A guy gets so emotionally charged up. He gets kind of mentally drained, not physically drained.
In the first half of this game, Virginia tried just one three-point shot.
Good job by Edlin.
Edlin deflects the pass inside. Virginia missed that one try in the first half. They're 2 for 2 on three-pointers in the second half. Carlisle had a notion right there and didn't pull the trigger.
You notice how Virginia, by being so patient and taking the fans right out of this game, but you can almost hear a pin drop, and normally this is bedlam for a ball game like this. A very quiet, passive game.
Mullen, turnaround jumper, good. Boy, Virginia getting it done here in the second half. Mullen has 5, all of them in this half, 42-28.
Dean Smith's going to have to go ahead for a timeout here shortly and change some strategy, either full court pressure. He's got to do something to pick up the tempo on the part of his team.
Perkins. Foul was called. Tim Mullen has his hand up.
The players are faking us out a little bit. There's Othell Wilson was going ahead and clapping right here. Here you see Perkins going in. Little pump fake. Mullins came across, hit him on the arm. Now watch Othell Wilson. He's going to clap a little bit right there. Kind of surprised me. I thought maybe it was a foul the other way.
It was his second foul. Second half scoring. North Carolina has been shut out. Virginia pitching a shutout here.
And Michael Jordan has got to get on track to go ahead and get the North Carolina offense moving. And Virginia playing solid defense, and they're very patient.
And Virginia's hit 4 out of 5 shot attempts in this half. 2 of them three-pointers. They've outscored it.
Nice bounce pass.
11-2 now. Brad Daugherty.
Right in the center of the zone. Good bounce pass.
6 points. Brad Daugherty, 42-30.
Nice job by Robinson.
Mullen back into Robinson. Brad Daugherty behind him. Blocks the shot and takes it away. Good defensive play by Daugherty. Here comes Braddock. Matt Daugherty. No, and a foul call. Unnecessary.
Yeah, it really was. Carlisle didn't have to make that foul because Virginia was in good shape to go the other way and take away what momentum North Carolina was building.
And that is 4 fouls on Rick Carlisle. He's had a tough night here, man.
Well, here comes Ricky Stokes in the ball game. Now, Ricky can do everything that Carlisle can do offensively, but because of the size differential, he has some problems on the mismatches.
What he can't do is be 6'5".
That's right. Can't teach him to be tall.
He's 5'10". Ralph Sampson's going to come back into the ballgame. Jim Miller is out there. Here's Sampson returning to the lineup.
And we noticed that North Carolina has not substituted almost 5 minutes here into the second half.
Kent Needland back out. Sampson back in. Matt Daugherty on the line. 0 for 1 at the free throw line. 5 points on the night.
I don't think, Fred, I've ever been in this gymnasium when it's been so quiet for such a prolonged period of time. You've got to give Virginia a great deal of credit there because they've been able to take the crowd right out of the game.
Matt Daugherty gets both free throws. He now has 7 points, and now Carolina back within 10. As you look at some of the crowd here in Carmichael Auditorium, we have the timeout. 15 minutes, 59 seconds left in this basketball game. It's Virginia 42, Carolina 32, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium. Fred White along with Billy Packer. There's your score. Virginia leading North Carolina by 10 with 15 minutes and 59 seconds left in this basketball game. Billy, the intensity level may be picking up a little bit. At least Virginia's picked up the pace.
Well, I think Virginia's playing a solid ball game here away from home. There's Dean Smith. Has to be very concerned right now. Terry Holland, both of them look like they're behind. You know, Terry looking very intense. Dean Smith looking rather relaxed. It's hard to tell the way you look at a coach's expression and to look at him and try to figure out who's winning the ball game.
Well, he talked about how the coaches used their bench in the first half. Virginia's bench has outscored North Carolina's 10-3.
Here North Carolina picking up full court, trying to create something to get the crowd alive and the ball club.
Kenton Needland lobs to Sampson. There he is.
Nice stop in that play.
9 points for Ralph Sampson. And again, the 12-point lead for Virginia.
As beautiful execution by Virginia that time. They beat the press nicely, set up in a good offensive pattern. It's good, smart basketball.
Brad Daugherty with the jumper. 8 points, Brad Daugherty.
That freshman's playing very well tonight, and he wants it offensively.
15:25 left in this basketball game. Virginia by 10. Jim Miller against Matt Daugherty. Perkins hitting the deck in the lane, wanting the foul. Didn't get it. There's a layup. Didn't go. Kent Needland again. Blocked by Brad Daugherty. Here comes Michael Jordan. To Matt Daugherty against Stokes to Jordan. 6 for Michael Jordan, and Carolina back within 8 with 15:04 to play.
That's what the fans have been waiting for here, and if you're Virginia, you want to keep them out of those kind of plays.
Look at Othell Wilson. He's going to
pull it back out. Very smart play. Trying to keep that crowd out of the ball game.
12 seconds left on the shot clock. 14:49 left in the game.
When there's no pressure on the ball, as there was not that time, it's not hard to pull it back out.
That's 3 for Othell Wilson.
That'll silence him.
8 points now for Othell Wilson. He has 2 3-point goals in the second half. Virginia has 3 of them in this half, and they lead now 47-36. 14:29 left in the game.
Here you have Perkins pulling Sampson out, but Sampson's not going for that story right now. He's going to stay right back under that basket.
Jim Braddock. Nope. You got to see it.
There's Sampson's one-man little zone underneath that basket, so he's not going for Sam Perkins going outside. And I don't think Sam wants to take that shot now with the score being what it is.
I don't know what Terry Holland sees, but he wants a timeout here. The Virginia bench is calling a timeout.
He keeps that crowd out of the ball game again.
So Terry Holland wants to talk it over with his basketball team, and we have 14 minutes and 5 seconds left in this basketball game. Virginia leading North Carolina 47-36. And we'll be back right after this. Fred White and Billy Packer in Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill. The Tar Heel fans looking on, not liking what they're seeing right now. Virginia leading 47-36. 14:05 left in the game.
Here you go. There was that pump fake by Braddock. He puts it up, went way off the back of the rim, and Sampson goes up there, just takes it. Nobody else. I don't think there was anybody close to his jersey number. That's how much higher above the rim he was than everybody else.
Well, this may be unfair to North Carolina, but it seems to me that they haven't played with much passion so far in this ball game. There's what the 3 All-Americans have done so far, and they've all been reasonably quiet.
Well, I think James Worthy pointed that out at halftime. There's just not a lot of fire out there, not a lot of defensive intensity. I thought it would pick up considerably in the second half, but it's not. And here North Carolina goes back into the zone and packed way back in. It's hard to get pressure on the ball in that kind of zone. Good pass. There's a walk.
Traveling call. A turnover charge to Virginia.
I think Othell Wilson didn't expect that ball to come out quite so rapidly, and he was already moving when he caught it.
Virginia's hit 6 out of 10 shots in the second half. North Carolina just 3 for 8. 13:45 left in the game. Here come the Tar Heels down by 11.
Virginia stays in that man-to-man, and they're playing rather passively, too. They're just playing good, solid position defense. Sampson not going out to pick up Perkins.
Brad Daugherty. Sam Perkins. Michael Jordan's going to try to make something happen and gets 2. He has 8 now. Gotta have him, Billy.
Yep, the North Carolina fans have to ask, where have you been, Michael Jordan?
47-38. 9-point lead for Virginia. 13-13 left in the game.
That zone's really backed in there now. Virginia's going to have to shoot from outside, and there's Sampson.
Oh, Ralph Sampson
right against the zone. They're giving up that shot, and Sampson takes it.
11 points, Ralph Sampson. 49-38 Virginia.
Normally when Dean Smith's clubs get behind like this, they'll come out and pick up, put a lot of full court pressure on you. Don't see them often drop back into that tight zone.
Michael Jordan didn't get it. Sampson. But Wilson can't catch it. Jordan for 2. Didn't get it, and there's Sampson again.
The replay, and this time he tried to throw it to one of his teammates.
Ricky Stokes of the basketball.
Well, Jordan trying to get untracked here. There's that zone. Carolina just walking around defensively. This is not like their ball club at all. There's nobody within 3 or 4 feet of the ball. They normally put a lot of pressure on the ball. And anybody who's seeing Carolina for the very first time tonight has to say this can't be the nation's #1 team.
There's Ralph Sampson. Look at him get it back and stuff it. Ralph Sampson. 13 points.
Virginia playing extremely well. They may be the #1 team.
51-38, Virginia leading North Carolina. 12:03 left in this basketball game. And
Reminds you of one of those Super Bowl games that was cracked up to be a lot that turned out not to be.
Sam Perkins for three.
That's not the shot. There's a good push off by Daugherty. He doesn't get away with it.
Brad Daugherty just committed his third foul with 11:48 left in the game.
There's Dean Smith. He wanted the timeout, but he's waiting to see what the TV timeout's going to be. He can't wait any longer. He's look at him. Sneaky way to call one.
So Dean calls his own timeout.
He's got to figure out some way to get his club going.
We have 11 minutes and 48 seconds left in this game as we stop here with a score now. Virginia 51, North Carolina 38. There's your situation. 11 minutes, 48 seconds left in this basketball game. Virginia getting away from North Carolina. They're up by 13 right now.
Here comes Sampson. Good move inside. Nobody blocks him out. Is that amazing? Ralph Sampson, a guy who you have to keep off the boards. Nobody putting a body on him at all. Now watch, he shoots. The minute he shoots, you've got to stay right with him and block him out. Because there's Braddock pretending like he's going to go for the rebound, and that ball was up in the stratosphere.
Billy, he shot from the bottom of the circle, caught it just below the bottom of the circle, never put it on the floor and stuffed it.
Now here Dean Smith called the timeout. Let's see if he picks up the defensive pressure. Some kind of trap, some kind of half-court press, or man-to-man really heavy on the ball, because Virginia is just putting them to sleep. That's what Sampson does so well. When they double-team him and he gets the ball, he'll throw it back out to a teammate. Very unselfish and also very talented passer.
Sam Perkins has attempted one shot in the second half and missed it. It was a three-point try. He doesn't have a rebound in his half. Mullen, that's good, and that's three. Tim Mullen now has 8 points, all of them in this half, and it's 54-38, Virginia by 16.
You'd have to say Virginia playing super basketball tonight. It's not run and shoot ball, but they really are playing smart.
Brad Daugherty. Sampson got it.
Sampson, he remembers the play down the other end of the floor where Daugherty blocked his shot. That time Ralph not only blocked it, but caught it.
Ralph has 6 points and 6 rebounds in the second half. He's 3 for 3 from the floor, and he has that block.
Still no pressure on the ball. And maybe they're so concerned about Sampson inside that nobody's going out to pressure the ball defensively.
Greg Robinson over Kent Needland's screen doesn't get it. Matt Daugherty picks it off, and here come the Tar Heels down by 16. They may have to go to the three-point range. Braddock. Daugherty, Michael Jordan, quick move on the baseline, good. Michael Jordan has 10.
Well, we've all seen him do that so many times, but in that first half, and Dean Smith waving to his team saying, get back out there and pressure the ball, but they haven't been doing it so far.
Really, I wonder if there's a quicker player down the baseline in college than Michael Jordan. Sampson from the circle. Oh, Carolina let it go right through their hands, picked up by Virginia.
Virginia doing a good job here, Fred, bringing the ball back outside constantly, taking the fans out of the game and forcing North Carolina to come back out high.
Running a little clock. 10 minutes left in this basketball game. 3/4 of the way through it, Virginia with a 14-point lead.
See, with no pressure on the ball, and there hasn't been any in this half, Virginia can do whatever they want. And they have been doing it.
Shot clock about to expire, and the long try good by Greg Robinson. He used 28 seconds on the clock. Robinson has 16, and Virginia leads by 16 with 9:38 left in the game.
I'm amazed watching this game. I've never seen North Carolina play this kind of a basketball game. Good drive. Michael Jordan starting to pick it up on the offensive end.
Kent Needland, his second foul.
And Ralph just telling him, Kent, that's okay. You don't have to cover for me here.
Make it his third personal foul.
I was kidding him a couple of days ago. I said, change that uniform. The officials maybe just automatically holler out number 30.
He does get called for a lot of them. There's Terry Holland, the Virginia coach. Biggest margin of victory during the Ralph Sampson era for North Carolina, 17 points. Virginia won one by 24. Bill Wilson back in the game.
Well, remember, both of these teams have made tremendous runs at a guy with a big lead, and both have been able to pull out from points where it looked like they were totally out of the ballgame. Not trying to hype this thing, but that has happened in the past.
First meeting between these two this year, Sam Perkins had 36 points, 10 rebounds, 4 for 4 from three-point range. Right now, Sam Perkins has 6 points in this contest.
Nice job by Hale. Hale trying to pick up on the ball a little more.
2 points Hale, 56-42 Virginia.
Here comes the trap. What North Carolina knows, a few traps, that leaves Sampson underneath the basket uncovered, which is almost disaster.
In the second half of this game, Virginia's hit 10 out of 16 shots. North Carolina's 6 of 14. Sampson, He has 15. He has gone to work here in the second half. 8:38 left in the game. 16-point lead to Virginia.
It's fun to watch.
Oh, he is amazing. Hale.
That time Daugherty was going to put up the shot and realized Sampson was behind him.
Matt Daugherty wide open. Can't one player the corner. He has 9 points. 14-point lead for Virginia.
Here's Othell Wilson. Instead of forcing the ball up the court, just taking it nice and easy, keeping this tempo exactly the way Virginia wants it.
Greg Robinson called for travel. Elliot Needham, excuse me.
Good double team by Hale.
Kent Needham giving the official a bat, but trying to make a point with him.
Here we see now, Othell Wilson probably shouldn't have given that ball to Kent Needham right there, realizing Kenton, that's not where he wants to handle it. You know, 35 feet from the basket.
Up against the sideline, Jim Miller in the game for Virginia. Elam has to sit down with his 4th foul.
Here we have the 1-3-1 zone with Sampson down underneath the basket. Virginia going to force North Carolina to put some ball up from the outside.
Matt Daugherty, Sam Perkins. Now Carolina had 4 players set outside that 3-point line. In the game, Carolina's hit 3 out of 10 3-pointers. Virginia 4 out of 5.
This is a smart move by Virginia also because it takes away that Michael Jordan's drive.
A foul called against Tim Mullen of Virginia as Perkins rebounded Michael Jordan's missed shot. That's the 2nd foul on Mullen.
There's Othell Wilson doing a good job of leadership, pulling Mullen back, keeping his mind on the ball game. I think that bothered Othell earlier in the year. He made that comment about his mind being upset a little bit. Some people didn't agree with that, but I think right now he's got his mind totally engrossed in the ball game and playing so much better.
Well, the clock now starting to work against the Tar Heels. 7:30 left in this game. They're down by 14. They're going to have to get a run going if it's going to happen for them. Michael Jordan. Nice floating jump shot. Michael Jordan. He has 8 in the second half and a dozen in the game now.
Even against the zone, he has that ability to knife through.
7:15 left in the game, and now the crowd here in Carmichael trying to get into the game and get the Tar Heels on.
You can see how when Wilson pulls out, if they're going to pressure him, it leaves Sampson without anybody helping Perkins.
Steal, Michael Jordan. Wilson racing to catch him, does, and fouls him.
Oh, that was a great foot race right there because Wilson, a super athlete, so is Michael Jordan. Wilson, maybe the only guy around that could run him down, was able to do it before Michael could go in there for the score.
3rd foul on Othell Wilson. Michael Jordan tonight.
6 for 15, but remember in the first half when North Carolina was kind of falling asleep, Michael wasn't even in the offense.
And he was 2 for 7 in the first half. He's 4 for 8 in the second half. That's what they're shooting in conference play. Look at Ralph Sampson, 61% from the floor. Michael Jordan right behind him, then Sam Perkins. 3-point try. Braddock drilled it. They're down by 9, and maybe a move being made here by North Carolina. 9 points for Braddock.
Well, we talked about teams that get behind in this series have had the ability to come back.
6:45 left in the basketball game. 9-point lead, Virginia. Braddock called for a foul.
Using the body out front.
That's only 3 fouls on North Carolina in the second half.
Well, they've played such a passive defense, Fred, that they really haven't picked up any fouls. Here we'll see it right here. Now watch Braddock use his chest, try to impede the progress. Now, anytime that you make body contact that impedes the progress of the offensive player, you have picked up a foul. So what much question about that one?
Rick Carlisle now coming back on the floor for Virginia. Tim Mullen's going to sit down.
And North Carolina has not substituted.
Team fouls in the second half. North Carolina still has some to spend. Now they're getting a little aggressive on defense.
But if they do that, that's going to leave this man down under the basket. Good hustle by North Carolina.
Perkins knocked it loose. Braddock has it. Getting by Carlisle.
Beautiful thing.
Braddock has 11. The Tar Heels within 7 points of Virginia with 6:20 to play. And the game may be on.
Well, we've waited a long time for intensity, and now we've got it. Now North Carolina picking up high.
Miller,
Lob
Robinson.
to Sampson. He can't get it over there.
Michael Jordan fouls Craig Robinson. The 2nd foul on Jordan.
We're going to see right now when North Carolina picks up the pressure outside with Sampson down under that basket, just how they're going to try to handle Ralph.
That is the 3rd foul, excuse me, on Jordan. Virginia wants timeout here. There goes North Carolina for the first time tonight looking a little excited as they head back to the bench. They were down by 15. They're making a run. Timeout here with 6:08 left in the game. It's now Virginia 58. North Carolina 51, and we'll be back right after this. Fred White and Billy Packer in Carmichael Auditorium. There's the story. 6:08 left in the game. 58-51 Virginia. And that little number 30 up top, Billy, means that Carolina really has about 2 minutes and 8 seconds to make their run.
Well, even though that the shot clock will go off, Virginia has been playing a very passive game, occupying the clock, keeping the tempo down. So I don't think we'd see Virginia go into an all-out stall. And one of the things that's very difficult in Virginia's case, they've been playing a slow-tempo ball game. If North Carolina does make a run at them, it'd be very difficult to gear back up again.
The clock will go off in 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Virginia has the ball. North Carolina has scored the last 7 points in this game. They're back within 7.
Jimmy Miller missed a lob opportunity to Sampson.
There it goes inside. Sampson has it knocked loose.
That's 4. That's 4 on Michael Jordan. That'll really hurt the Tar Heels there because they need his offensive firepower.
Jordan thought they had the steal.
Here we'll see. Now they're going to Sampson right over the top of the defense. He can just catch the ball up there against anybody. Michael Jordan did what you're supposed to do, and that is come up underneath the ball, but he picked up the foul. That is 4, right?
5:53 left in the game. Virginia with a 7-point lead in the ball and a new 30-second clock.
And they're very passive again on the ball.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
3 men around Sampson.
Robinson, Carlisle trying to drive. Braddock on the baseline. Couldn't seal him off.
There's Carlisle showing again what a solid ball player he is. Braddock reaching in instead of playing solid D.
He has 3 points. Virginia leads by 9 with 5:21 to play.
Perkins coming out looking for his 3-point opportunity.
Hits the deck and gets rid of it to Braddock. Michael Jordan.
There was that step move of his.
He's called for traveling. North Carolina turns it over with 5:10 left in the game.
They can ill afford to turn the ball over here. Virginia's still playing very smart.
60-51. Virginia leading North Carolina. They have led by as many as 16.
In the man-to-man, they have Othell Wilson on Michael Jordan. Let's see if Othell tries to take him one time. Jordan having those 4 fouls. Let's see if Virginia tries to set up Othell Wilson and take him one-on-one.
Greg Robinson. Sampson's called for a push in the lane. Sam Perkins hit the deck.
Good job by Perkins getting in position. Watch this. Othell Wilson was going the other side. I think they were going to try to rotate the ball to get Jordan on it. Now, Sampson's going to come across the lane, bangs right into Perkins. Good call, not much question about it.
And that foul, the first on Ralph Sampson, but it puts North Carolina in the 1-1 with 4:54 left in the game.
And Perkins, a very good free throw shooter.
83% from the line on the year for Perkins. Steve Hale in the game now. Brad Daugherty sits down. Now that's an interesting substitution. The guard for the biggest man that North Carolina has.
I think what you're going to see, North Carolina wanting a lot more pressure on the ball. They can realize with that clock down to 4:54, the next possession, probably for North Carolina, the clock will be off.
Sam Perkins has not scored in the second half of this game, has just 6 points. Now he has 7, now he has scored in the second half. 8-point lead, Virginia. Perkins could get them within 7 here with 4:54 left in the game.
Well, for young kids watching, it's kind of interesting. Here's an All-American type ball player along with Jordan, and people say, what have you done for me lately?
Sam Perkins has 8, 60-53. Virginia by 7. Here's the full-court pressure. Othell Wilson races Braddock and beats him.
That's what. And Othell dribbles it off his foot.
Turns it over. Carolina gets it back. 4:48 to play. Down by 7. And the crowd coming to life in Carlisle. Braddock.
Next possession for Virginia. I believe it'll be down below 4:30, and they'll have an opportunity to sit on it. Down to 4:35 now. Let's see.
Perkins' 3-point try. Too strong.
Nope, the clock will still be on for this possession.
Greg Robinson spared the rebound. Big miss by North Carolina. That would have had them within 4 points. 4:22 left in the basketball game. Carlisle, Sampson.
Good overplay by Michael Jordan. Now here's Othell Wilson. He ought to try to take him one time.
Miller open in the circle, got it, and a foul was called. The basket's going to count.
There's a little mismatch. Miller having a big advantage in size over Hale and was able to get the jumper off. Okay, the clock is off now. And so Virginia does have that opportunity. If they want to sit on it, take some air out of it, they can do so.
Virginia up by 9, and Jimmy Miller could make it 10 right here. He has 8 points. He's 0 for 1 on the line.
Fred, that was a good observation of yours when you talked about that substitution factor, putting Hale in, taking some size out of the lineup, and when they did that, Jimmy Miller took advantage of it, which is, again, good, smart basketball.
Jim Miller, 77% free thrower. Knocks it down, and the lead is now 10 for Virginia with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game.
Dean Smith didn't want that timeout until the ball was up at half court. See, he could have got the ball passed up, then got his timeout, stopped the clock. Now they've got a waste time coming up the court.
The timeout comes here with 4 minutes, 12 seconds left in this basketball game. There's your score. Virginia leading North Carolina by 10. And we'll be back right after this. North Carolina cheerleaders trying to get the crowd cranked up, trying to get the Tar Heels cranked up. With 4 minutes, 12 seconds left in this game, Virginia has steadied up after Carolina made the run and got within 7. They're back up by 10.
Well, as my older son Mark always says, Dad, they're a little laid back in Chapel Hill tonight. Of course, he goes to Clemson. He doesn't mind seeing that.
63-53.
By the way, speaking about Clemson, that game against North Carolina State last night, Sidney Lowe might have had one of the finest basketball games anybody's played in this league so far. 39 minutes, great assist night, great scoring night, didn't turn the ball over. What a young fella.
He can play. 4 minutes left in the basketball game. Carolina down by 10.
Oh, that's a long one.
Braddock nails it for 3. He has 14.
And the three-point play can bring you back in a hurry.
It's a 7-point lead for Virginia.
He turned it over.
Wilson lost the ball.
Yes, he did. He turned it over.
Double dribble called. And now with a 3-point goal, Carolina could get within 4. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to play. A concerned Terry Holland watching.
Watch this. He turned it over right here. The ball came up awful hard on Othell Wilson, and there's where he turned it over. That's 2 straight off the dribble, and that's very unusual for him.
3:45 left in the game. Braddock for 3. No,
look at that rebound by Sampson.
And a foul is called on Sampson.
He went up so high, he took that ball right over the top of Daugherty, who's listed at 6'8". Was able to get the rebound. He was about 3 or 4 feet away from Daugherty when he went up. And that's going to take the ball away from Virginia and put Daugherty on the line.
And what happens here, Billy, if he gets them both? Well,
watch this. Watch Sampson, how far he reaches out there. And there's Daugherty down underneath. Daugherty had position, so Sampson had no right to invade it. Over the back. Boy, Daugherty took a shot right in the side of the face.
He looked like a 747 landing there.
Now, Robinson's going out. Stokes is in. Carlisle's in. And Othell Wilson. I look for Virginia to start using that clock a little bit now, spreading things out.
If Matt Daugherty hits both free throws here, North Carolina could be 2 shots, 2 3-point goals away from taking the lead.
It's been a very quiet comeback. You know, at what were they, down 14 points?
16 at one
16.
time. Daugherty gets them both. He has 11 points, 63-58. Virginia by 5.
Let's see how Virginia tries to deploy things. North Carolina picking up full court, a lot of pressure.
3:33 left in the game. Stokes and Wilson. Almost a turnover.
And a foul on Braddock.
Second on Braddock. Almost came up with the ball.
Sure did. Looks like Virginia getting a little jittery with the ball. Not, I don't mean the turnovers by Wilson, but they're just not positive coming out and meeting the ball right now.
That's Smith signaling.
Team foul what right there? How many team fouls do we have there?
I've got 6.
Okay, one more and they'll be going to the line.
3:22 left in the game. There's Miller inside.
Oh, Sam
Sam Perkins blocked it. Here's Carolina down by 5. Sam Perkins.
Virginia has to go back to man-to-man. And here's where it's really tough to change gears. You've had a game with a big lead. It's hard to get that intensity back.
Michael Jordan for 3.
Nope. Cecil Exum.
Exum back up. No good. That's Perkins. He's tripping a foul call on Othell Wilson. 2:54 left in the game. Carolina down by 5. And to the line they go.
Wilson is so good coming in from behind to take that ball, but he got caught with a foul right here. Cecil Exum with a big rebound. And there he comes. He did get the arm. Odell got the arm. The official right on top of the play. Here's Miller going up. A great block by Perkins down the other end.
Sam Perkins on the line. Has 8 points in the game. 2 for 2 on the line. 2:54 left in the game. North Carolina down by 5. 4.
Robinson coming back in the game. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's very difficult when you're playing a passive game to have to turn around and change gears, and that's what's happening to Virginia right now. Very shortly, they're going to have to get back in the offensive swing of things.
Sam Perkins trying to get North Carolina within 3. Doesn't. 2:54 left in the game.
Kind of amazing they've gotten back into this game.
And if Virginia turns it over, one shot could tie it with the 3-point line. Stokes.
Terry Allen wants a timeout. His team doesn't see it right yet.
Now they do. The timeout is called with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game, and North Carolina trying to chase down Virginia here in Carmichael Auditorium. The Carolina crowd in the game now as the Tar Heels trying to come from behind. They were down by 16 at one time. And here they are back within 3. Again, 2 minutes, 41 seconds left in the basketball game. It is now Virginia 63, North Carolina 6. Couple of crucial turnovers down the stretch, and North Carolina at one point down by 16, back within 3.
Nobody guarding the man taking the ball out of bounds, so you've got North Carolina going for that steal on the inbounds pass.
Phil Wilson picks it up. Now to Stokes. And Stokes
so low to the floor.
Now Rick Carlisle. Stokes and now Wilson. 2:29 left in the game.
North Carolina trapping outside, man-to-man, trying to get guys in double-team situations. Well, that's a tough job for Jordan. He's got 4 fouls on him with Stokes.
We threw that pass a little hard to Carlisle. Now Robinson. Perkins defending Sampson down low.
Both teams have 3 timeouts left. Team foul situations. Both clubs would be in the 1-and-1.
2 minutes left in the game. Carlisle passed the shot.
I thought he'd go lob to Sampson on that one. It looked like he wanted to.
1:53 left in the game. Virginia with a 3-point lead. Trying to kill the clock.
You can see Stokes is down so low to the ground. It's very difficult to steal it from him.
Rick Carlisle.
Good job by Robinson coming out to help. Down to 140.
Virginia has good free throw shooters in the game. 1:35. Long time to go yet. Virginia handling the ball. Carolina still looking for the steal.
Jordan having a tough matchup with Stokes.
There you see the time remaining. 1:21. Sampson had it low. He was fouled by Perkins.
Not a bad foul by Sam Perkins. It stops that clock some and also puts Ralph on the foul line.
What does this tell you? It's the first foul on Sam Perkins.
Well, I think it tells us that their defense was anything but aggressive throughout the course of this ball game, because in the first half, Dean Smith was able to rest a lot of people, keep them out of foul trouble, but it was a very passive ball game.
Ralph Sampson, good free throw shooter. 70% on the year, 1 for 2 in this game. He has 15 points. If he misses the first one, Carolina has a shot at the tie, and he did.
This game is a long way from being over.
Braddock, the Tar Heels down by 3. 1:13 left in the game.
Oh, a good solid
Braddock
screen.
to tie it, and then out. Tip is good.
Michael Jordan.
It's a 1-point lead. Michael Jordan now with 14 points. Virginia leads by 1 with 1 minute to play.
Michael Jordan, remember, has 4 fouls on him. He's playing very aggressively. There's a steal.
Jordan takes it away from Carlisle. Bam, and the Tar Heels go in front with 50 seconds to play. 64-63, and Carmichael just erupted.
Unbelievable. Michael Jordan is so quick. And now North Carolina can afford to go back in the zone.
38 seconds to play. Carolina by 1. Stokes.
Virginia's got to get organized here. They're letting a lot of clock go by.
28 seconds to play.
And North Carolina's got a big team out there playing that zone. Virginia better get the time. They're going to take it.
Well, Bill Wilson just called the timeout with 23 seconds to play. And, Billy, it's interesting. The time on the clock, 23. That's Michael Jordan's number. And how many big plays late in crucial ball games has he made, and he's only a sophomore?
He does it time and time again. I'm sitting here. This game has got me mesmerized. You know, I watched the first half and said, gee, these are two great teams, and we're not seeing much of a game. And then it looked like Virginia had an easy night, and all of a sudden they're behind. Here's Jordan with the steal. No question what he's going to do with it. And he has been playing with 4 fouls for a long time. Virginia never put any pressure on him to try to get that 5th one. And you can see how critical it is to try to put him on the bench.
Michael Jordan now has 14, and there's the Virginia huddle. They have 23 seconds left in the game, and all of a sudden, Carolina has the 1-point lead.
Hard to imagine. When they were 16 down, I said, you know, these teams have had occasions to make big comebacks. I think if you're Virginia, you know, 23 seconds, you've got to start now. You're on the road. You've got to start to try to attack that basket. Try to get a shot up. You don't want to go ahead down to the wire. North Carolina is a very big team in the game. When they left at the timeout, they were in a zone defense. I'd expect them to go back to zone because they don't want Sampson to be isolated one-on-one. So Virginia's got their work cut out for it.
North Carolina has outscored Virginia 20-5 down the stretch of this basketball game.
Well, Virginia has taken very few shots even during that period. They've turned the ball over or they've gotten fouled.
And Michael Jordan, when Carolina had to have it, tipped this shot in for 2, made the steal, got the dunk for the 2. So he brought him from it.
And you notice now Virginia went for the solid screen. They were down. They went for the solid screen, being 3 down for Braddock. And he put it up, and he's the guy that missed that long jumper. One of the things, excuse me, Fred, one of the things I've noticed this year, that with the 3-point play, Carolina obviously takes a lot more outside shots than they have in the past. But you've got to be aware that the ball is going to rebound out much farther when it's taken from beyond that 20-foot mark.
There again, your situation, 23 seconds left in the game. North Carolina coming from 16 back to take a 1-point lead over Virginia. The Cavaliers have the basketball.
And you can see North Carolina setting way back in the zone. They're going to make sure that Sampson has no opportunity. And what in the world are we seeing now?
They're going to hold for the last shot.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
They
sure are.
12 seconds left, and Virginia down by 1 is going to go for the last shot. 7 seconds left. Carlisle for 3. Long. Rebound, Michael Jordan. And a foul call on Virginia, and Michael Jordan there again, and this ball game is over.
It's all over.
North Carolina has come from behind and won it.
Unbelievable game.
I get the feeling this thing isn't over.
It seems like we're just ready to get started. What an ending.
Look at James Worthy was out there shaking some hands. Look at the crowd here in Carmike. I think they're stunned a little bit, Billy.
Well, the Virginia people are saying that there was still time left on the clock when the foul was committed, but the clock just ran on out. But now, we talk about the emotional problem for Virginia here. This is one that I'm sure they thought they had in their hands. Now they've got to say, are we snake bit against this club?
Well, I'll tell you what, I thought they had it in their hands.
I sure did, too. I thought they were just in a perfect position to have this one nicely wrapped and taken back to Charlottesville.
Our final score, North Carolina has defeated Virginia here at Carmichael 64-63.